Hello, and I'd like to welcome you all once again to the old schoolhouse here in the village of Butterstone in Perthshire in Scotland for this another wee live concert. This is our 37th live concert. I can't believe we've done 37. We're approaching 40. We'll have to make the 41 a kind of bit of a special anniversary one. Anyway, thank you for joining us. For those down in the 60s for many years, and then I was able to buy it, luckily, about 30 years ago, and turn it into a recording studio, and we have a wee video edit and speak through the back, and all my records were made in this room, so it's been brilliant to do the broadcasts over the last 3 months during this crazy time from our old school. A bit crowded tonight because Duncan Tattyface is here with his bass. And now I didn't believe him, actually. None of us believed him. Gordon MacLean up in Antober and Mull wrote a thing saying that Duncan had been quite an influence on a lot of the bass players. But he's been trying to do this for weeks now, and he produced the bass out of the shed where he'd been hiding it under a whole couple of bales of straw. And he was also showing me all his awards and things like that. I mean, he's been... You good, Duncan? He's got a big smile on his face because he's been wanting. So anyway, we'll start off. These are for the first 30 shows I didn't repeat myself, and I think I did 120 songs, but that was in series 1, and in series 2 I'm doing kind of requests, and so these are some of the requests that have been showing up on my on the Facebook page. So I'll start with this and see how we go on. He walks, he does no overwhelming need to fly. His heart remains unbroken. No need to search the sky. Me, I've never found that place. I wander recklessly, but I know that she will find me. I know that she will find me, even if I vanish without trace. Oh, and though I'm running blindly, I know that she will find me, hiding with the shadows that I chase. No one can rock his boat or make standing waves upon his sea. Everything is calm and even, steady, safe as it should be. But me, I've never found that place. I wander recklessly, I know that she will find me. I know that she will find me, even if I vanish without trace. Oh, and though I'm running blindly, I know that she will find me, hiding with the shadows that I chase. Sometimes we search too deep. That's when the darkness feeds our fear. We turn away from one another, just in case we get too near. Me, I stand this mountain top, I shout so she can hear, and I know that she will find me. I know that she will find me, even if I vanish without trace. Oh, and though I'm running blindly, I know that she will find me, hiding with the shadows that I chase. And I know that she will find me. I know that she will find me, even if I vanish without trace. Oh, and though I'm running blindly, I know that she will find me, hiding with the shadows that I chase. Thank you very much, and that was my wee song, "She Will Find Me." And I'm assuming that you're clapping in front of your computer screens or your big tellies, wherever you are. We've been doing this over the last 3 months, and I've been trying to do it like a little concert. And I've actually got rows of empty seats, kind of symbolic of the times that we're in front there. But there's just me and Jen here in the old school, and we have a kind of a wee automated system which we're operating. And there were beautiful notes there, Duncan Tatty Face. Beautiful notes. I mean, the hairs were on the back of my neck. Anyway, I'm going to do this song. This was another request, and this came from learning about Mary Queen of Scots, and Mary Queen of Scots, and I knew that she had been beheaded, but I always thought she was beheaded in the Tower of London, where normally do all their beheading down there, and but she wasn't. She was beheaded in Fotheringay Castle, which is about 100 miles north of London, and I came upon it by accident. I was doing a concert in Stamford, I think it was, and somebody said, "Oh, have you been out to Fotheringay? It's just down the road there. You should go and have a visit." So I knew all about Mary Queen of Scots, and in fact, I've got a theory that when she was a baby, she was she was taken out of Edinburgh Castle. She was hidden because Henry VIII was trying to marry her to one of his sons, and they didn't want that. So they brought her out to the bishops of Dun to hide her. as a baby. And I'm convinced that she was hidden on the island, just on the little loch about 2 miles from here, just from this house. There's an island in the middle of Cluny Loch, which was built by the bishops of Dunkeld, and I'm convinced she was there. Anyway, that's my theory. But anyway, I knew all about it, but I didn't know about Fotheringay. So I went out to the, and there's nothing there. There's just the kind of, you can see where the motte and bailey. You can see the big flat area, because you had to go. There was no signposts or anything. You had to go through this farmyard, and there was the chickens running around, and into down by the river, and there was this big. You could see where the moat had been, and then this big flat area where the Great Hall had once stood, where they had the kind of sham trial for her, and where she was beheaded, and I believe her body lay there for about a year in the lead coffin, because they didn't know what to do with her, because they didn't want her to turn into some sort of martyr before she was. I think she was buried in Peterborough originally. Anyway, it's a very spooky place, and you can tell that something really terrible has happened there, you know, and it's quite incredible to stand in the flat area where the Great Hall had been, and just kind of, you know, you're standing in exactly the same spot where she was beheaded and where they had the trial, and it's quite. So when I was there, I wrote this song, and so we'll try it now and see how we get on. She was just a young girl, actually, and you know, what harm could a young girl really be doing to anybody, you know? But it was all the power-crazed men that were working way behind the throne of Elizabeth I and Queen and Mary. They were the ones, and some things don't ever change, you know? Something happened here in this cold, deserted place, where mighty walls have vanished, leaving not a trace. Something's not quite right, where ravens cast a guilty eye, and hidden reason still continues to deny. Oh, but Mary, I can feel your pain, I can hear your heart breaking on the silent fields of Fotheringay. Oh, I can hear your heart breaking. Give our might to men, who then take it as their own, and in our name destroy with every thrown stone. We stand as simple fools, we watch them break it down. Stolen voice lies silent, cannot make a sound. Oh, but Mary, I can feel your pain, I can hear your heart breaking on the silent fields of Fotheringay. Oh, I can hear your heart breaking. found a darkness here. Belief has withered well away, and time has sacrificed what no one dares to say. Something's not quite right, where ravens cast a guilty eye, and hidden reason still continues to deny. Oh, but Mary, I can feel your pain, I can hear your heart breaking on the silent fields of Fotheringay. Oh, I can hear your heart breaking. And Mary, I can feel your pain, I can hear your heart breaking on the silent fields of Fotheringay. Oh, I can hear your heart breaking. Thank you very much, and that was my wee song about Mary Queen of Scots and the very, very dark place that is Fotheringay Castle. So this is the spot where I'm going to do a wee song with a chorus. Now, I've done these songs before, like a couple of months ago, but we're going to revisit them again. And this is a wee song. I spend a lot of time up on the island of Lewis, and I have a wee house on the west coast, which is an amazing part of the world up there. And it's right out. Lewis is right out on the edge of the European continent, and there's nothing between the west coast of the island of Lewis and America. And there are very few trees on the island, so when the great big Atlantic storms come in, the weather is just so wild, and the winds are so strong that you just dare not leave it would be a dangerous thing to leave your house. And in fact, I remember being up there with my father. I think it was in January, and the beaches, there's a beautiful beach just down from the house. It's about a mile long, and it's only about 500 yards from the house, and my father and I made 3 attempts to get down to the beach, and we couldn't because of the wind, just the sheer force of the wind. Anyway, I wrote this song, and it's become a wee bit of an anthem up there, and I know there's a few of my pals who I'm desperate to see, but I can't get onto the island, and I'm not allowed up there at the moment, so but they're watching, so I'll sing this for them. It's become a wee bit of an anthem up there, and this is where I teach you the chorus, and you all sing. This is the part of my wee show where we all sing together, and this is you sing. In fact, I wrote this song after watching a caravan tumbling past my front room window and heading down to the beach in the middle of a big storm. And you sing, I feel so near to the howling of the winds, I feel so near to the crashing of the waves, I feel so near to the flowers in the fields, I feel so near. And it'd be nice if you make a wee bit of noise out in front of your terrace, and you can, to give you a wee bit of an atmosphere, I'm going to tell this story, although I've got a few Lewis friends watching. This is because there's a whole kind of vibe, a Hebridean vibe. This didn't happen in Lewis. This was in Tyree actually, but it gives you a wee sense of the way things are. I was playing at a festival in Tyree, and there was a finale kind of concert for all the workers and that on the Sunday night. For all the people, all the volunteers from the festival, and it went on into the wee hours of the morning. I was there, and it was about 3 o'clock in the morning, and there was a talk to this old guy Angus, and he was completely legless drunk, and he just could hardly stand, and I was saying to him, well, Angus, are you walking home, Angus? And he's going, I says, are you walking home, Angus? And he says, oh no, he says, I've had far too much to drink. He says, I've had far too much to drink. He says, I'm going to take the car. and That could only be a Hebridean kind of thing. Anyway, this song came from actually an old man who was saying to me that part of the country was he says, oh yes, he says it's a very, very thin place up here. It's very, very thin, very, very, very thin. And I says, what do you mean by very thin? He says, it's a very, very thin place up here. It's very, very thin. I said, but what do you mean? He says, the distance between the living and the dead up here is very small. And you get that kind of feeling out on the Hebrides because it's on the edge of the continent, it's kind of where the land meets the sky. So, but I forgot, I was going to do this. I'm going to use this in this song. And the only problem with this is that I can't play one of these. But I was a big Bob Dylan fan when I was young. And I always wanted to use one of these in one of my songs. So I got very excited when this particular wee song came along, and I could use this harmonica. And so one last thing before I do the song and before we sing it. Maybe, I don't know where you live, but maybe when you go down to the big city and you go and you see a jazz band playing or something, and in the middle of the piece of jazz, the piece of music, the saxophone player will take this fantastic solo, and at the end of the solo, the whole audience will go. Not trying to put anything into your minds or anything, or auto-suggestion, but very cool. Find me sitting at this table with my friend Finn and my friend John. Friend Bardani tells us stories, things long gone, long gone. And we will take a glass together. The whiskey makes it all so clear. Fires our dulled imagination. And I feel so near, so near. I feel so near to the howling of the winds. I feel so near to the crashing of the waves. I feel so near to the flowers in the fields. I feel so near. That's what you sing? Louder. Feel so near to the howling of the winds. I feel so near to the crashing of the waves. I feel so near to the flowers in the fields. I feel so near. The old man looks out to the islands. He says this place is endless thin. There's no real distance here to mention. We might all fall in, all fall in. No distance to the spirits of the living. No distance to the spirits of the dead. And as he turned, his eyes were shining, and he proudly said, here we go. I feel so near to the howling of the winds. I feel so near to the crashing of the waves. Feel so near to the flowers in the fields. I feel so near. thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we build out our constructions there to mark our place in time. We justify our great destructions as on we climb, on we climb. And now the journey doesn't seem to matter. Destinations faded out, gathering out along the headlands. I hear the children shout, children shout. Here we go. I feel so near to the howling of the wind. I feel so near to the crashing of the waves. Feel so near to the flowers in the fields. I feel so near. This is where you sing it on your own. Here we go. I feel so near. Fantastic. Okay. I feel so near to the howling of the winds. I feel so near to the crashing of the waves. I feel so near to the flowers in the fields. I feel so near. Thank you very much, and that feels so near. And I just want to say hello to some of my pals up there. Hi, Lynn. Maybe if you're watching, Lynn and Callum and Finn and all the folks. So I'm going to do one more wee song, and that's and this is another one of the songs that I've been getting requested for. Just going to have a wee mouthful of the port because I have those of you who have been watching all 37 shows will have followed the story of the port. Nigel, my friend Nigel's been supplying me with 1985 port from old dusty bottles he's got in his cellar, and it's kept me going. So this is a song that I wrote. It's a wee homesick song. Really, I wrote it in Los Angeles, believe it or not. And I used to go across to. Well, I've been going across to America for years, and I originally went across with the band, the Tannehill Weavers, that I went across with, and excuse me. And we used to get a special airline ticket that would fly us unlimited in America. So you could fly anywhere as long as you didn't fly out of the same place twice, I think it was. So the agents that were booking our concerts, they didn't care where the shows were. So they would book one show in New York, and the next show would be in Los Angeles, and then the next night you'd be back in New York again. And I remember when I was at Tannehill's, we actually found it was cheaper to take a flight somewhere on a night off and have a dinner on the plane than going to a restaurant. So we would book a flight to somewhere just down to an hour's flight that had a dinner on it, and it was 5 of us or whatever. So we'd have a dinner and we'd fly back, and it was actually cheaper. But I remember getting to Los Angeles and being absolutely fried, and I had a kind of a bit of a breakdown, and I was just so exhausted and with the heat. And my dear friend Lois, who might be watching, I don't know, I think she has watched a couple in Los Angeles, saved me and took me out and got me fed me. I had let myself get really run down, and she looked after me, took me back to the house and filled me full of salads and orange juice and stuff and that, and she's brilliant, and so I kind of, but that night I sat out on the fire escape and wrote this song, but. So I've stayed in touch with Lois, and Lois worked in the movie industry. She did the paintings for the costumes, so that she would do the drawings of the costumes with the actors in them to sort of see what they would look like, and she was brilliant at that. So one time when I went there after the wee episode, she presented me with, I've got it here, we're going to try and show it, but she's one of my prized possessions, and it's hanging on my wall. I thought I'll photograph it, and she said, when she gave it to me, she says, Dougie, she says, she was doing a big movie at the time, a great big Hollywood movie. She says, it's your head on Kevin Costner's body, she said. So I loved it. I laughed at that. So we've got, I thought I'd put it up. I don't know if Jenny can put it up on the screen. It's up, yeah. You can see the mullet. You can tell the time that it was, my hairdo. But I love that. My head on Kevin Costner's body. Because that's that's the actor she was working with at the time. Anyway, these little lochs that have been left behind by a glacier when it retreated, and now it's just an amazing place to live because of all the wildlife that's here, and it's just kind of not very far from the River Tay. The Tay, the little burns that run through here run into the Tay. We're kind of on the banks of the Tay. This is really not my home. Oh, where are you, my lovely Jenny? I'm afraid and all alone. There is no peace for me. And I'm sitting in the stranger's room, playing at the stranger's table. Like the moon, there is no peace for me. But in the darkness, struggle cold, I think about the garden valley, gentle as the leaves unfold, singing out along the Tay. Distant and so far away, there is no peace for me. And I'm blinded by your city lights. I wander through these fearful places. The colors fade to black and white. There is no and these are not the friends I know. These are not their smiling faces. desert that no one should know. There is no peace for me. But in the darkness, struggle cold, think about a garden valley, gentle as the leaves unfold, singing out along the tale, distant and so far away. There is no peace for me. Now I know and feel it well, poor immigrants deep sunken feeling, standing at the gates of hell. There is no peace for me. Burned out by their master's greed, cruel exile, transportation, robbed of every love and need. There is no peace for me. But in the darkness, struggle cold, think about a garden valley, gentle as the leaves unfold, singing out along the tale, distant and so far away. There is no peace for me. But in the darkness, struggle cold, think about a garden valley, gentle as the leaves unfold, singing out along the tale, distant and so far away. There is no peace for me. Thank you very much, and that's my wee song, Garden Valley, written on a fire escape in Los Angeles many years ago. But so that brings us to the end of our Wednesday night wee live concert, and thank you very much for joining us. We're working on 40 now, and thank you to Jen, who's been pressing the buttons up there, to Jimmy and Tanya and Julia and Taj, who are my kind of quality control guys. They're not in the house, but they're watching online and letting me know if there's any problems. I'd like to thank the Tatty Face family for the wonderful backing that they've provided with the songs, particularly Duncan with his debut with his bass. Good job, Duncan. Look at that smile on his face. He's been waiting for weeks to get up here to do that. And I am impressed, and I hope Gordon MacLean. If you have to tell Gordon if he's not watching, that I actually got Duncan to play the bass on the stage. Anyway, this is the point also where I like to thank all the people, because of these crazy times that we're in, and these crazy times just seem to get crazier and crazier. And but I like to thank all the people, all our NHS people, all the helpers, all the people that are out there doing all this stuff, you know. Even as we wind down, you know, I still feel it's important to kind of thank all the folk that have kept the wheels of our lives kind of moving while all this is happening. And so I'm just going to give you a wee toast, and I hope you're all kind of looking after yourselves and looking after each other, and staying cheery. That's the most important thing, and being careful, because this is a time now, I think, where we have to be extra special careful, because we don't really want to have to go through all that again. So you all look after each other, and I'll see you on Saturday night for number 38, and Aikava, and until then, stay safe. Bye bye.